Any questions so far on what we mean by what a project is and the genesis of a project and the layers of a project?
No, sir.
Okay.
But if I could, like, repeat it, maybe if I could conclude, so the project will be the whole of the initiative and also the pilot, and then it will be based on the roles itself, which is the prioritization. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. There's hierarchy of projects, Cynthia, and that's all I want to explain, right? So let's say, as let's say a CEO, my project level should be I prioritize which chapter gets resources so that they can develop their particular which mission gets resources so that they can develop, let's say, the best way, right? Which mission we need to prioritize at the moment. Then the next level is the chapter lead prioritizes which initiatives actually get done first so that we can move ahead. And then at individual contributor or at sort of like people within the chapter, the regular Bukit Vista citizenship, they work on pivots. They work on what is it like a particular pivot that supports a particular initiative. Now, anybody can come up with an idea, right, for an initiative. That's not necessarily the chapter lead's job. The chapter lead should be looking to inspire their team and be inspired to come up with the best initiatives. But anybody can actually contribute to imagine an initiative. Anybody then can help support that initiative by working on pivots. That's like, okay, I'm going to do this to deepen the talent pool. I'm going to do this to deepen the talent pool. I'm going to do this. So you could have multiple pivots coming from multiple people. And then it's back to that whole discussion we had during the transition of BB4, and yeah, it's right here actually. So when you get lost, come back to the structure, right? So at the company level, there's a mission that is the least flexible, and we talk about that during all hands. At the chapter level, there is mission initiatives. We don't have a roadmap. We need a roadmap, and that's a little bit less flexible, and that's in the weekly meetings that we talk about. And then there's actually in the discussion. And then there's initiative level. These are personal and these belong to a particular person. And these are very flexible depending upon how we see it. And then there's pivot level, and that's where the most flexibility happens. And that is up to the daily pivot. This table probably needs to be updated a little bit, but I think you guys get the picture now. Yes? Okay. All right. Let's move ahead then. So that is a summary overview of how we've structured the company for efficient project management. Okay, we just need to talk about what each particular role does then. All right, since we went ahead and let's go ahead and visit. Let's do a scrum. So, oh yeah, before we do the scrum, I'll announce what the structure of the meetings are. So this is becoming its own guild, which is what we have before we have a chapter, which is kind of like an informal coalition of people who get together to discuss a topic. And what I'm proposing as, let's say, part of the guild is that we bring our current structure into this guild. So we'll have regular meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 10. And there is a discussion management paper where we talk about, there's a discussion management paper where we talk about project management, things that are let's say, worthy to be discussed during the project management time, such as what we talked about this morning. What is project, and what are the different levels of project hierarchy that are happening? So the next thing is we have meeting notes, as we normally have. We'll have a chairperson. We'll have a secretary. These are the regular people who have come so far to project management discussions, and I've added them here. Today, Bayu isn't here, but hopefully he can make it in the future. But anyhow, this is my proposal. Okay, let me add myself too as well, because I'll probably need to chair for a few times before I go into it. So let's go and do this for today. Let's go ahead and create a secretary. Does anybody want to volunteer to be the secretary of this particular meeting? Okay, thank you very much, Rizal. Rizal, you have volunteered to be secretary. Does anybody have any objections to Rizal becoming secretary? No? Okay, all right, Rizal, you're the secretary. All right, so what the first thing you'll have to do is probably refresh the meeting notes. I'm not sure if these meeting notes actually belong to, yes, they do. Actually, no, they do not belong here. These are mentorship development. So you'll probably have to make a template result and make it specifically for project management, and then change the link on the card so that it is correctly linked. Okay, let's go and take a look and let's walk through the structure. So the structure of, oh, I didn't write down the structure. Sorry. So the structure on, where's my structure? It's gone. Oh, I remember. Okay, so here we go. So, all right. Here's essentially the structure. Sorry, I actually did not write the structure on project management, but I wrote the structure on mentorship. Um, what I'm proposing, and this is probably a familiar thing that you guys have seen. So we'll probably go 2 weeks on. Sorry, this is Monday, Friday. This is, like I said, for mentorship, but it'll probably go through the same cycle. We'll go through 2 weeks, 2 times a week, so 4 sessions at a frequency of twice a week, and then eventually we'll slow down to once a week, right? Probably just on Tuesdays, and to review project management. So we do a little bit more in the beginning to get the culture going, to kind of establish what we actually do regularly, we'll get some practice, more experience, and then we'll slow down the pace of meetings once things are moving along. So similar ramp up schedule to what we have for mentorship. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into it. So the first thing that we generally do is we have a discussion, and then afterwards, let's do the scrum, so to speak, and take a look at the projects you're working on and what you might feel are interesting topics for discussion. Okay, this one is a little bit more loose, so we might not cover everybody's card. That's not the main point. The main point is to just go over and take a look and try to identify problems and opportunities to problem solve together as a group. Okay, let's start with a few cards here. I'll start with Gani. Gani, all right, let's see. Gani does not have, oh, here it is. Optimize the Facebook page to get new leads. All right, let's discuss this particular project. Gani, what do you have for us?
Okay, so on the previous previous pivot, I create the initiative that I want to optimize Facebook page to get new leads, but just organically. But right now, I just want to make more clear that to get new leads from Facebook page, it's not just organically, but we can do the paid ads as well. So I get the intended outcome more clear than previously. So I want to post valuable content and targeted property owner as the audience on the Facebook page, get and then the second is get inquiry from property owner asking about our work by the daily posting content.
Okay,
And
excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. Very good. So I just listened to what Gani told me, but I have actually some things that I saw immediately. Let's go over and see if anybody's eyes has picked up what these issues are. Let's go over to Andre. Andre, do you see anything that Gani could do better for this particular card or for this particular project, actually?
Mm, I don't really get anything here, but maybe from the hypothesis we can make it more clear, I guess.
Okay, all right, got it. The hypothesis could be more clear. Over to Vidi. Vidi, what do you see that could be a area of improvement on this particular card?
The how will we know part, make it into a checklist.
Yes. Okay, very
Such
good.
that we can know the action points and milestones.
Excellent. Okay, I've just posted Gani's card up here on the chat, so if you have any comments, please go ahead and click that open and just help Gani along with your comments. Gani, I have actually a comment here too as well. Your hypothesis and your intended outcome have some overlap. Your hypothesis is that you will post valuable content and target property owners, and the outcome is that you will get inquiries from property owners. Does that make sense? So one
Yes,
is
sir.
how you will do it. The next is what will happen after you do it, right? Also, I believe you have another part of your hypothesis involving ads. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Mm, I just think that to uh, optimize content to target wider audience, it's need the ads. So yeah, that's my thought. But
Okay,
I a bit confused how to write it down.
okay. So you have two hypotheses, right? So your first hypothesis is you will post good content. Your second
Mhm.
hypothesis is that you will target property owners with ads, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right. Does anybody see what could be done better even through this new improvement of the card? Let's go over to Cynthia.
Mm, yes, actually, maybe I will agree with Phoebe, sir, and then for the second one, so no, right.
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't entirely able to hear Cynthia. I don't know about anybody else, or probably everybody in Jokja Base could hear. But Cynthia, could you repeat again? Some maybe it's the microphone or something. So if you could get closer to the mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, could you hear me?
Yeah. All good now. Better now.
Okay. Well, as for my side, I will agree with PD to set a checklist, and then also we can track the milestone. And then I'm not sure, maybe on the side on the how we will know, it could be you could make as a checklist as well as the milestone. So yeah, you can track it easier when where to have you on the stage right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sounds good.
think that's all.
Okay, so the checklist idea. Once again, please go ahead and put your comments here so that Gani has an active written record for feedback. Okay, the next thing is this actually. Gani, you have two hypotheses at the same time. So remember, when you do a pivot card, focus on one particular idea for each card. If you have two cards, then it becomes jumbled together, which particular idea is working. So you do have two ideas to get us more inquiries from property owners, right? And then the next thing I think we can do is, unless this is a combined idea, you're going to use this type of content and this type of advertising, then okay, it's fine, right? But if you're going to use content by itself and advertising by itself, then that's two separate cards. But
Okay. I will focus on the content first. Sir.
okay, good. But you can also focus on the ads too, but just on a separate
Mm,
card, right?
I see. Okay.
Or I'm just double checking. Maybe I've misunderstood. Do you intend to use content and then support it with advertising?
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, but I'm not the create the structure of the boost.
Okay.
So I will focus on the content first.
Okay, this actually brings actually a very interesting, I think, idea of how to prioritize, right? So Gandhi's at the very beginning of an experimental cycle, right? And so there's two ways that he can go about, I think, with his project. He can start multiple experiments at the same time, or he can do one experiment, finish, work on another experiment, finish, work on another experiment, finish, right? So let's go and discuss what we should do at the very beginning. This means we don't really know if this is going to work. This is not proven yet. It's still sort of like an idea. We haven't seen any sustainable feedback to continue it. So let's go over to Resolve. Resolve. What method should Gani use right now? Should he set multiple probes down and try multiple things and focus on that, or should he focus on one thing and then the next thing and then the next thing? Which style do you believe would work better?
Mm, I just think that probably Mas Yoni can use uh, posting content on the variable A and then variable B, uh, he can also post content and then boost it through ads. So I
Okay.
think that if the variable A and variable B, which one can which one can uh, last longer audience, is that original content or content that boost with ads. So I
Excellent.
just think that we can do experiment like that.
Okay. Interesting idea. Let's go next to Vidi. Vidi, who's right? Like, is it better to work sequentially or is it better to work in parallel?
In terms of experimenting, sir.
In terms of yes, initial experiments. So
See.
experiments
So
before we have a clear idea where we're going. Mhm.
usually when performing the experiment itself, we do it in parallel to
Mhm.
maintain the variables.
Okay.
But the planning itself, I believe if it depends on each person if they have the capacity to do things in parallel, it would work. But most people work sequentially.
Ah, okay, all right. That's a good point. All right. So, Gani, this depends on your capacity at the end of the day. The best form is to do a few in parallel. So, why? Then you can see essentially which one is working, and then you can converge quicker. Eventually, you're not going to be focusing on all your different experiments. Eventually, one experiment will be doing better than the other ones, and that's the one you keep and you continue working on. It's sort of like animal husbandry, right? You kind of like grow a lot of cows, and then you take the cow that's doing the best, and that cow you sort of reproduce. But like the in the very beginning, you don't know which one's going to work out, right? So it might be good if you have the capacity and the patience to do a few experiments in parallel. That goes for everybody. Like I think what I see a lot is yes, it could be limited by how much capacity you have to actually set multiple experiments. But if you work on these sequentially, there's a lot of time lost, right? So you might be working on one idea for 2 weeks, another idea for 2 weeks, and at the end, you figure out that the first idea was the best idea, right? So then you've lost maybe a month of time to actually determine that. Whereas if you set multiple ideas in parallel, it works a little bit faster. I'll show you a quick one where that actually happened. That was actually in, let's say this. So let me give you an example of what we can do in parallel and what can not be done in parallel. So Gani, remember when I was doing the outreach to different developers in the country? So I did a few all in parallel, right? I reached out to Astra, Sinarmas, Ciputra, um, three Indonesian developers all at the same time. And for each particular developer, I reached out to about 10, a little bit less than 10 contacts on each particular thing. So I did it all at the same time. And then what I found was that Sinar Mas got back, as you can see just here in the structure of you can see that it's flowing, right? All the contacts are flowing down. So Sinar Mas got back to me, and now I know. So if I had gone sequentially, let's say I went to Chiputra. I went to Chiputra first, and nobody really got back to me. And then I go next to Astra, and nobody gets back to me. Not a lot of people get back to me. So then it's a little bit like I can't even. It's taking me much longer, right? But if I do three in parallel, then within a week I know that's my winner. I need to focus on Sinar Mas because they are very responsive, and that's a company I can work with, right? So okay, that's a discussion about parallel work and sequential work. Let's go next to the next card. Let's go to Andre. Okay. Andre, let's see what you're working on. Okay. Andre, tell us a little bit about your card and oh wow, what is this?
This graph or chart where we can see the visualized data, that rather than you have to read tons of words that scroll that written down there, we can also see the chart is like a summary, so you can see so how many people have you been invited, so how many people have come back to you to be trained, or how many people certified, so it makes easily people to check and to let everyone. Yeah, it's basically just make it easy to everyone check. That's
Excellent.
that's the discussion that I made with Moana yesterday. So I'm trying to implement.
Okay, very good. This is great. Let's go over to Rizal. Rizal, can you quickly identify what is happening in Andre's progress for this particular thing and where his friction point is at this point, where his two friction points are?
On this screenshot, sir?
Yes. So what Andre is doing right now is he's doing a COVID safe cleaning certification, and he's inviting people, socializing them, training them, certifying them, or abandoning them. Right. So those are all the different stages. Where do you believe you see as a project manager? Where do you see friction, and where does Andre need help?
So first is I don't see the name of property that uh, writing down there. Is that how many properties? How many properties and the name of the properties is not attached there.
Okay, interesting.
The,
Name properties isn't there. Okay.
um, wait. Yeah, I think just that, sir. For me.
But as a project manager, Rizal, is that absolutely crucial information for you to understand? Or is something else happening in Andre's work that is more clear because we can see this graph?
I don't see that, sir.
Okay, all right. Over to Gani. Gani, do you see it?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, or Shintia?
I think that the way it's socialized, because from the invitation that time is 12 and the socialized is 2 times, and then I'm not sure why the training certification and attendance still zero. I think maybe the way it approached to the owner and the way to deliver to the owner.
Nice. Very good, Shintia. All right, Shintia saw it. So looking at,
Sir.
yes, over to Andre. Oops, lost him. Sure. Hello? 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 Ah. I don't know, the internet died or something. So annoying. Okay, let's see.